Riolu Hatch Day in Pokemon Go is coming this weekend, and it is going to be one of the best and rarest shinies to hatch from 2km eggs that you can possibly get. So let's welcome the Hatch Day and go over the top tips to help you guys maximize out on this event in Pokemon Go. So welcome to the Trainer Club. Here we go. Welcome back. Riolu Hatch Day going down on July 22nd in Pokemon Go, and I know they call it a day, but in reality, it's going from 2 until 5 p.m. local time. And I know it's kind of a bummer because I think they could do a much better job about making these day things. Like, yeah, maybe the bonus is going from 2 to 5, but who knows? Maybe there could have been Mega Lucario out, or maybe Lucario could have hit raids, or something along the lines of that where it could have been a little bit more of an inclusive feeling instead of calling it a day and making it 3 hours. I don't think that's really all that good and effective. But with that said, we're not going to talk about that right now because this is not the video for that. This is going to be maximizing out on Riolu Hatch Day in Pokemon Go. So 2 to 5 p.m. July 22nd on Saturday. And the event info is going to read. So we do have Riolu hatching more frequently from 2km eggs. You're going to be spinning more 2km eggs from stops. And not only that, there's going to be a couple bonuses. You're going to have an increased chance of hatching shiny Riolu from 2km eggs. There's going to be 2 times hatch Stardust. So we are going to get into the top tips right there that's going to help you guys maximize out on Stardust before this day starts and right into when it does start. And then finally, what you're gonna have is 2km eggs dropping much more frequently from stops in Pokemon Go. So with all that said, let's not waste any more time. Let's start getting into my top tips for this day, starting with tip number 1. Tip number 1 is going to be leading up to this event. So there's a couple things that I want you guys to make sure you're prepared for. Obviously, you're going to need incubators. I highly suggest you guys use super incubators to be able to hatch more eggs if you're going to go about this. So I will be playing this in Barcelona, Spain. So if you guys do want to come and watch the video, my goal is to drop this video before you guys do have Riolu Hatch Day in Pokemon Go so that you guys can see what the rates are. So definitely have the notifications turned on and be ready to get after these hatch rates in Pokemon Go. So if you have not been going through gyms, if you're not a spender in Pokemon Go, you want to keep doing gyms each and every day to earn your 50 coins. Not only that, you want to clear out a lot of Pokemon from your inventory because eggs are going to count as Pokemon inventory, so you are going to want to make sure you're ready and prepared for that. So I would say clear out at least 200. Remember, these are 2km eggs, so you still have to walk a decent amount. And then finally, let's talk about one of my favorite bonuses, and that's going to be the 2 times hatch Stardust. You guys probably know that I'm going to talk about this, but if you did not, 12km eggs are going to be the biggest yield of Stardust in Pokemon Go. So since you do not have the ability to have a hatch bonus for this event, I'm going to help you guys out. So you want to get 12km eggs by Friday midday, or maybe Friday morning would be optimal, and then you're going to put these 12km eggs all in super incubators all at the exact same time, and you're going to start walking them, but you're going to have to be very mindful. So if you plan to do a lot of walking on Friday and Saturday up until the event, you may not want to put them on so early, so you're going to have to really gauge this, because if you're getting close to hatching these eggs and it's not the Riolu Hatch Day, you're going to have to cut off Pokemon Go before you go ahead and hatch these eggs. So getting 12km eggs, putting a star piece on, and starting to walk them, I would say up until about 7 kilometers out of 8 kilometers. You do not want to go too much further beyond that, because if you close the game and you get a ton of adventure sync, regardless, I would open the game at 2, put the star piece on as fast as you possibly can, and there's usually a little bit of latency, very small amount, but some latency between when the game goes through and when adventure sync pushes through, so you're able to get that star piece on, and then if there's any adventure sync and it happens to be 1 kilometer, you can hatch those eggs immediately. It's going to clear out all 12 of your 12 kilometers, and then you're going to be ready to go. But not only that, I suggest one more thing to help you guys get ready for more eggs, because during this day, you may not walk 12 kilometers, but you may as well try on a super incubator, and that is going to be have at least a rocket radar, or if you're going to buy them, have 1 saved up that you worked for, and then buy 2 more. So as soon as you hatch all of these, you spin all 9 eggs from the Pokestops, you can put those on in incubators, and once those 9 spots are locked up, you can get 3 more 12km eggs, and if you are walking very efficiently, you will be able to hatch those 3 12km eggs on star pieces towards the end of the event. So I would say if you do that, 2 star pieces would be necessary, and the amount of yield of Stardust that you can get from all 12km eggs with 2 times hatch Stardust and a star piece on, you're looking at around 160 to 185,000 Stardust in 1 round of egg hatches. That is significant. Do not overlook this. That is going to be very worth your time, energy, and effort in Pokemon Go. So that's going to be leading up until the event, right before the event, and right at the start. And now let's get into tip number 2. Tip number 2 is going to be all about as soon as the event starts. So we do want to know what is the 100% IV for Riolu. That's going to be 567. 567 is going to be the number that you're going to look for because there's going to be increase in shiny and there's also going to be increase in Riolu hatch rates. The only problem about this event is they have not told us how much of an increased shiny rate, which they never really say, and they also say that 2-kilometer eggs will appear much more frequently from stops, but that still means that you could occasionally spin a 5K and a 10K. I'm hoping that these other things, hatching and spinning, are going to be much less frequent, if almost non-existent, so that we can mainly focus on hatching Riolu from these 2-kilometer eggs, since it is going to be Riolu Hatch Day in Pokemon Go. I don't know why they didn't just make it exclusive for both the 2 kilometers and Riolu, especially since it's only 3 hours. But for the most part, you should only be hatching Riolu, and there's an increased shiny rate as well, but we don't know what it is. So that's where my video is going to come into play to help you guys figure this one out to make sure you're there. But you have the 100% IV, which is then going to lead us into tip number 3. So there's also going to be field research and timed research. So make sure you have your field research available and you do not spin and complete any of the Pokestops in the area that you plan to walk around and complete. Okay, so we're gonna go up in Toronto, which is where we're at right now. And that's not where I'm gonna be playing, but let's just take this for an example. Okay, I'm going this street, then I'm gonna go this street, and then I'm gonna go back this street, but I'm not going up and down the same street, because when you go up and down the same street, you are going to miss out on other Pokestops, which can give you more field research. And since we're gonna be doing a lot of walking, you might as well be doing a lot of spinning, and a lot of spinning is gonna yield you more field research. So you might as well complete as many of these as possible, which can yield you candy, stardust, berries, great ball, and XP. And then there's also going to be a timed research. I may put a video out on Friday night that's going to talk about how good Riolu is going into Lucario for PvP as a meta attacker, and then as far as a Mega Lucario standpoint in Pokemon Go. I want to make sure that we cover all the information that we possibly need for this event, and I will focus on that in that video. Okay, so there is another thing that we have to mention, and that is going to be your strategy for walking. Optimizing your walk route in Pokemon Go. You do not want to make circles, you do not want to make squares unless it's massive squares. You want to walk in as most of a straight line as you possibly can. The straight line is going to optimize you on this standpoint. How is that going to help? Because egg distance doesn't always count each and every step. It can count, like let's say I'm walking straight and I take a turn. Sometimes if the egg distance didn't register by the end of the straight and you took that curve, it will give you this angle of a distance as opposed to a straight distance. So you're really gonna wanna walk to optimize your egg hatching as long down as possible and then as long back as possible. And if you wanna optimize to hatching those 12-kilometer eggs, you can go ahead and walk your eggs all the way to that 7 kilometers, do a little bit of running with your phone and the app completely closed out, no background run, and that will increase adventure sync in the background if you have that turned on. But when you absolutely must be fully focused on your game when you're opening it, as soon as you open it, you go right into the star piece and throw it on. There is a slight chance that you miss it, but more than likely you will not. But optimizing your route is also going down straight. Once you're all the way down there, you see the eggs, you can watch them in your bag and keep checking on your bag. Okay, oh, egg distance counted. Okay, now I'm gonna turn around. Or you can go down there and you can stop, let your egg distance count for a second, maybe about 30 seconds to a minute. Once all the egg distance does register, you turn around and you start walking a straight line back. And that's why I am suggesting when you're in the city or wherever you're playing, you can do a straight line, you turn, and then you come down the next one, like you're zigzagging through the streets like this, and you're making your way closer and closer and closer and closer, but you're doing it in straight lines and slight turn angles in Pokemon Go. And you're not walking weird angles, you're not doing circles, you're not doing squares in compact areas, so you can maximize out on hatching eggs in Pokemon Go by making sure it registers and it doesn't cut you short. And with all that said, we got one more tip in tip number 4. Tip number 4 is going to be saving your Riolu in Pokemon Go because you want to do a lot of trading. Trading also can yield you non-lucky 100% IVs and lucky 100% IVs or even high IVs as well. And optimally speaking, you get as many shiny Riolus as possible because they are always great trade leverage. Not only that, when the Mega comes out, they're going to be even higher demand than they are right now. So having as many as possible, saving all of your non-100% IVs that you do hatch, and all of those, you can trade them, I would say, with somebody that's at least over 10 kilometers. Optimally, it would be over 100 kilometers, but if 10 is good enough right now, because this season bonus is going to guarantee you 1 XL candy. So every single one that you hatch, you'll get the catch candy, and then you'll be able to trade for an extra XL candy. Maybe you get some XL candy when you hatch, maybe not, but since they're 2-kilometer eggs, probably not quite as much. And then you're gonna guarantee that, and then you'll be able to get potential luckies and 100% IVs and the likes. Because just remember, if you can get a 100% IV lucky Riolu, that's going to power up for 50% less Stardust, which is very valuable in Pokemon Go. So those are gonna be all the tips. Trade all of them, mirror trades, over 100 kilometers if you can. If not, over 10 kilometers will be optimal. And if you don't have that, you're only losing out on 2 regular candy. Over the long run, could add up. But in reality, the most important thing is that you're getting that guaranteed XL candy in Pokemon Go, and you're potentially getting those lucky Riolus. So if it is advised to go hard, you will see it in my video this weekend. I appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Make sure to share this video to help people maximize if they are doing it, or to see if it's going to be a scam in Pokemon Go. We'll have that for you this weekend. I appreciate you guys being here as always. To all my likers, commenters, subscribers, Patreon members, everybody takes their support, subscription, and participation to the next level. I'm gonna see you guys out on the next video. Peace. I want to take this time to thank everybody who supports me in every facet. It means the world to me, and an extra special thank you to all my Patreons. I greatly appreciate the extra support to continue to allow me to pursue Pokemon Go full time, allowing me to create my daily video uploads in the most timely fashion for everyone's benefit. Plus, I get the amazing experience of sharing my creative processes behind the scenes and raiding all around the globe with select upper tiers. Thank you everybody for being a part of the Trainer Club. You all mean the absolute world to me, and I will see you guys out on the next video.